I love country. He was in all of them. And you know, such a good part, you know, he opened the door, he this dude was sitting there yelling, let's start making his way back. It's some of the thinking, coming in, you don't stop yelling, it's you're the Lord, but listening. What's the good part of dog? So funny. Hear all of them yelling.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. And first, we'll have a moment of silence. Now we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Kim, Councilman Edwards,
Here.
Councilman Sherry Rogers here, Councilman Stephen White, Councilwoman Debbie Gump here, Councilman Herb Curtis here, City Manager Nate Stansberry
Present.
City Attorney Brian Bailey
Here.
Finance Director Joe Solsberg here, Chief Mike Posey
Here.
Chief Jimmy Settle
Here.
Building Code Zoning Enforcement Officer Marty Lewis,
Here.
Street Commissioner Mike Starrett,
Here.
Sanitary Board Director Pete Evans, present.
Okay, first off, under the visitors section, we have Paul Bethards.
Yeah, I pretty much told you it. People leaving cats off at the sideline again with food and everything. You know, you finally got them to where they're down to most nothing. Then now we got people bringing them in from other places. We still have the speeders up through there. They can go. And it seems like they don't care. You know, if they're gonna kill us like kids, when the older person, they'll all set through there. But they don't care as long as they get to wherever they want to go. It happens between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the evening. It's fly. I can pay every part there.
One, I think we are working to address the cat population, and I'll ask Nate if you'd like to respond.
Yeah, we spoke before the meeting. We're back to 5 police officers this month, and so we'll try to get down there, make sure we can between 3 and 5, and get a couple patrols down there to see if we can catch them. As far as the cat, our cat enforcement officer Mariah Goldsmith, we've processed her paperwork. She's starting tomorrow, and so we'll probably spend about a week getting some programming up, and then hopefully set some traps and be able to start on those goals there of catching those cats. I think we're going to try to repurpose $1,000 in our budget initially to get some of them spayed and neutered if they need to be, and then try to rehome them. And once we can work through the rehoming process with those 20, then do some more. So that's where we're headed.
And we will employ the most humane.
Yeah, that's our desire. Yeah, she works with the
Absolutely.
pound, and so I think there's a good connection there. Yep, and Judy's watching us, so. Mhm. Yeah.
I noticed that. It's working.
Sorry. I did notice in reading the minutes from the last meeting, and thank you all for coming again. Please come anytime. We enjoy having you here. I think that we were going to check into getting a speed limit sign, and what that entails to reduce a speed is 2 readings of an ordinance. And we will be having the second reading tonight for Lynn Avenue, where we are putting up a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. So, Brian, are we gonna be working on that?
You're starting school, you're starting the track teams around that.
They do run up through there.
No sidewalk. So you're
Right.
running up the street, got people running up there, bad way to go,
Right.
and in fact, even trying to pass school buses.
Well, in the meantime, I wanted you to know what we would be doing on the backside of this. And I think that Chief Posey is going to, it makes it easier if he has a specific time, I think, too, to target up through there. So thank you.
Do you believe that's a lot of the school population,
No,
even the
it's
school,
not.
or is it older?
No, it's everybody. Especially construction workers, which I'm not against construction workers, I used to do it, but you know, it's,
I just wonder because I heard this.
Yeah.
talk.
it's just, it seems like everybody. And once they get off of River Street there, well, they run up and down River Street as fast as they can go, and from Second Street over, they just floor it. And then they got people out there mowing, they got people going to the, whatever's going on over at the asylum. But they, you know. And as soon as they hit, State Street, it's a little incline, and they think they got a floor to get up that little incline. And that's what they do.
Thank you.
Joshua.
Guy. I came to speak about the West Seventh ordinance that you're trying to pass.
Please come up to the microphone.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
So I'm one of the residents that received the West Seventh notice that we will no longer be allowed to park in front of our homes due to the majority of individuals having access to the rear of their homes for parking. I am not one of those people. Furthermore, I am a combat veteran protected under ADA, and I'm requesting exemption from this. And also, if the city chooses to move forward with this, I'm more than happy with them moving my easement back slightly and putting gravel down for me to park. My side of the house does have access if I would to use it as a driveway. However, the main water junction is directly at the entrance of this, and I don't think you want my 3,500 running over it every day. So at this point, I can't speak to everyone else on my street, but I am requesting exemption from this, as well as my wife's charger, because obviously she can't jump a curb. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
117.
West Seventh, yes, sir.
Mike and I discussed this a little bit this morning, and I think my intention is to request you all table that ordinance today, and we'll examine that street, see which different things we can do. We've talked about a few options. I think we'll probably go out there and measure things of that nature. One option we did talk about was, in fact, widening the road. It's a major construction project, but I think the east or the right of way is wide enough where we can pull those curves back, which would probably coincide with the pavement and stuff like that. But maybe it's we've got to prioritize emergency services versus all that kind of stuff. We even talked about maybe making no parking for half the street, and then the other half flipping the side of the no parking zone to maybe allow your end of the street to have parking in front of homes. And so we'll work with the homeowners out there and try to engage them and come up with a better solution. Hopefully fits everybody's requirements on the street.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
I appreciate that, but I did drive down there yesterday and I could hardly get my little car through there. So I can understand, I mean, I understand your situation, but I can understand the situation of our emergency vehicles. I don't think they could have gotten through there yesterday.
We've had to back out several times. You got tired and you can't go anywhere, so you got to back out.
So-
There's a real issue.
Yeah, I mean, there's a safety issue there as well for people on that street.
We'll try to resolve it.
Thank you.
Next, we have presentation.
Mr. Jeffries called us today, and we're going to try to reschedule the next meeting if necessary. We're going to meet Jimmy and I for
Approval of minutes of the regular and special sessions of September 5th and September 11th.
Good job,
If there are
Judy.
no additions or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to accept as distributed.
I'll move to approve.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a listing of the upcoming meetings, the Cemetery Board, October 10th, Landmarks, the 12th, Planning Commission, the 11th, Parks and Rec, the 10th, the Lewis County EDA, October 25th,
Board of Zoning Appeals, October 10th. Code Appeals Board, October 19th. And for the Weston Tree Commission, we have applications from Robert Weaver and Bruce Lloyd that need to be voted on. Oh, okay.
Just an update for the Historic Landmarks Commission. The facade grant, everyone has been notified that they had secured their grants, and we actually have a grant award winner here in the audience. Thank you, Brenda, for coming. Yes. And hopefully next month we will have some reports as to some of the homeowners. We would like to get their input for future grants as things that we can improve on our end, things that they feel that could have been most beneficial. A lot of these projects are underway. Some of them are just now finishing up. I believe, Brenda, your project is finished. Okay. So, but we haven't received all of those reports. And so hopefully we will be coming to you next month with some completed projects and hopefully some before and after photos for you to look at. And thank you again.
Well, yeah. go ahead.
Separate. Together is okay.
Okay.
I move to accept the application of Bruce Lloyd and Robert Weaver Jr. to be members of the Tree Commission.
And what is that time for? The length of time? 3 years?
For the full term.
Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Neighborhood Watch next meeting, October the 11th. Solid Waste Authority, October 18th. And there is a dam inspection on October the 4th.
Cold Creek watershed has 6% of the native structures in the watershed, but we pay a fee for the conservation agencies. So they do inspection for those structures and they invite us out. That's what we catch. They invite anyone interested in come on board.
There are positions on the Board of Zoning Appeals and Weston Municipal Appeals Board. If you know anyone who would like to serve in a volunteer capacity on any of these boards, just have them get in touch with the city building. Next, Sanitary Board report.
Good evening.
kind of items down at the plant, getting it ready for winter, and making sure that we get it done before cold weather gets down there. The guys on the collection line, we had a couple new taps, one of them on Turner Avenue, one of them on Travelers Lane. Did a repair on High Street, and we had a couple repairs down Tabor for the water company contractors working on water lines down there. They cracked one of the lines and just kind of obliterated another line, and we had to do some repairs there. In the office, I've been working with 3 and 7 on our critical needs application. Assisting our accountant with the rate analysis that we'll be bringing to you guys, the city manager and finance manager several times this month. And working with, public service commission still on getting those customers who want us to do the, line extension for them. And I'll be getting with Nate, because it's going to be probably part of.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
One question real quick, if this the only, properties that are vacant this town, or are there others?
Those are the only ones that came, they're pending. The way that we've been doing the transfer. We don't tell people. But we only make the transfer when someone pays, and people like the account and come to that. And so those are the only people that pay.
So the fees increased.
Yeah, so you'll see several of them now at 250.
Right.
At 150.
Right.
Okay, we have a motion.
Thank you.
and a Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Joe.
That's a little bit of the financial part. We attended the auditor's training this past week, getting their annual training on how to keep yourself out of jail best you can. And one of the things that came up was that by state statute, we should be having you all approve every transaction, which is my pushback. It's quite ludicrous. And I think that that's why they've hired run this form of government because we're so large that we can't do that. But I think that practically what we've got to is that you all should be provided a report as a check each month. And I think in the past we did do that before we had some transition. And so I think moving forward as part of your financial department report, you'll get a report for every check that's cut since the last meeting, so that you can see those and approve that. And records part of finance. There's a couple other things I'll share with you on the side as we move forward, but that I did want to make that point in the financial report that we'll try to get that straightened out so that we are following the letter of the law. That's not that we've got multiple people signing checks on council and things of that nature. So I think that there's no impropriety going on there in that effect. So by law, I think council has that responsibility / duty to understand what's being paid out.
Next, the street department report, which is in your packet, and do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Thing I'd like to add to it is, thank you all for the jackhammer that we just put on the mini excavator review twice this month. Also, on the repairs there on the bottom of the first page, the truck that we have, we made a lot of repairs to that netting one of our strip valve. And big thanks to our workers that we have over there. They can do mechanic work and whatnot. It really looks nice. It's something y'all come and see. And then the other thing is, we did take some trees down on Arnold and Ford Avenue. Thanks to the end line. Marty and myself going and talking with them. Take the city a little over $7,000. That's about all I have. One more thing we got. We'll be finish up in 6 and another job tomorrow. The drain line put in over the parking lot. If it's not finished tomorrow, it will be done on Wednesday.
We'll move along to the police department. Thank you, Mike.
I don't have anything other than report, other than I'd like to thank Mike and his employees for once again doing something that I have to do.
Any
They
questions?
cleaned up a lot of our vagrant trash.
Yeah. Questions for Chief Posey? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to Chief Settle, Fire Department. Anything in addition to your report?
Just that our gun bash is this Saturday.
Mhm.
Big fundraiser for us to resort. Weather don't look the best. It's real hot, and then next week, because fire prevention week, so we'll be at all the schools all next week.
Question for Chief Settle? Thank you. Building code zoning.
Fortunate. We should have 2 more things take place tomorrow. We did have a individual that got a permit for demolition on his own, and that came down today.
Nice.
Look, I could say. My lord.
Where was it?
301 Main Street, or I'm sorry, 251.
Oh, that's great.
By calculation, by the end of this year, we should have somewhere close to 25 altogether with what we're doing plus.
Homeowners.
That's way more than I thought.
Okay. Thank you. Next, city attorney.
Oh, what week that, October 16th? For notification.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Still need to do that, and I'll try. It's hard to judge how much to put in
I know.
to go through everything else.
I'll max it out this time. And if we get tired of each other, they're out. And we'll do that at, what time did we say?
6.
I had, oh, 6. I had 4:30.
Maybe.
We don't have to decide, right? No, we'll figure it out. We'll get it.
I noticed on your report, something I had a question. Acquisition of American Water Dam property.
Think of some, trying to figure out some potential way to apply. Policy and stop and wait for that. There's supposed to be some afraid of something about it. Thinking about it. In the next few days. Wait. American Water. Thanks to time.
Did we talk about this once before?
That conversation back.
Vaguely.
Yeah, this is the dam, they own property on where the old plant used to be, and then they have the dam, and there's a property on the other side of the park, up at the front park. And so they've approached us, 3 conversations we've had about acquiring that property, and there's a whole internal process that they're required to do. And so we've had some back and forth with their legal teams, and so at this point, I think they're covering the cost of an appraisal that's required on their end to establish the value of the property, and then from there, we will see if we can negotiate. And I don't think we're under any pressure to acquire it. I just think that they've reached out to us to see if they'd be interested.
Well, I knew that they wanted us to purchase that land there, but I didn't realize the dam went with that. Okay. I would be interested in seeing their last dam inspection.
We haven't even gotten close to anything like that. Of course, it's kind of back to the property, takes 2 to council.
Right.
All together. That's one of the things we should touch base with on a weekly basis, about where we're at, what we've heard, stuff like that. So I want to put that up. Before you guys are aware of the thing.
Also, there's a nice tax write-off.
We've had some different discussions with them about.
I don't know if they can, that's what that name, but they seem to think that they, a specific set of PSC codes that they're gonna go through.
You know.
No.
We've talked to them about maybe partnering together on a study of the area. If there's some kind of cost that we have to pay for the acquisition of the property, then if there's something that you can help us out, help us down the line with, maybe riverfront or something like that. So there's a lot more conversations to be had there, but before we can move any further, they needed to know how much the property was valued at and what that would look like. So.
Have they offered a recent inspection, dam inspection to us to take a look at?
I don't think we've even got that far at this point. Yeah.
That's been offered to us.
But I think it has been said that they have had it inspected in the past and they do inspect it on the regular, I think. For,
Right, they do.
Yeah, DEP rules or something like that. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, all things I think we'll ask about when we get there.
Okay, just so for reference, so the people of my ward
Mhm.
do not get upset about anything. We're just to clarify with them,
Yeah.
the dam is not in danger.
Not at this point. We haven't looked at the report yet, but yeah, I don't think, and our intention forward is mainly the property on both sides of the dam, and if American Water pulls up stakes and it's not their dam anymore, I think it's going to be a community asset for it's what we're talking about here with the water levels and stuff like that nature. And so that's why we're exploring this just to a degree, so we have a say over what would happen, because I think right now, if American Water's legal team, and they haven't said this, but if it became enough of a risk to them, they're going to walk down to DEP and get a permit to remove that dam. That's
Right.
what they're going to do, and I think that's what they've realized in the last year and a half, is that they're maybe liable for this structure long term, and they don't necessarily want to be. So that's the question we're going to have to answer, is do we want to be liable
Sure we do.
for it down the line? So yeah, so we're not doing this to remove the dam or anything like that, but I think long term we may want to modify it or move it later. Yeah. Move it farther up the stream, down the stream, or whatever.
Thanks, Herb, for helping me calm people down. Really appreciate it.
Behind Sherry's house would be great.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
probably didn't help you clarify anything, sure. I
No, you
apologize.
didn't. Thanks for backing me up. And Herb really sealed the deal.
This one is-
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets cold and lonely
I
outside.
think this is a discussion that's sort of originated 2 years ago, so it's certainly slow moving.
Yeah.
Well, I do remember the property acquisition there up at the corner
Mhm.
of where I always have to slow down because there's law enforcement sitting there. That spot. No, I remember that being up for discussion, that they wanted to get rid of that, but I just didn't realize that there was property on the other side.
Yeah, just a portion. So right now, when we cut that riverbank, usually it's in concert with American Water and Tala owns some frontage on the river. And so we try to time that up, and there's a lot of friction there. Sometimes Tala will cut it, and then
You're trying to cut the grass?
yeah, it's because it's not our property and all that good stuff. So like this would help in that effort to kind of unify it and make it something we could maintain and keep all together.
So when we're thinking in terms of that riverfront park that we're going to be working on, that this would help us with that area, we could push it back a little bit further.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have the city clerk's report in your tablet and what's the city manager's report.
Well, I've given you all a status of work, so I hope that that's helpful to you. And that was from the list that we brought last week. I integrated that and added a few things that I've been working on, and I'll continue to try to keep that up to date and provide that on a monthly basis to you. I don't know if you have any questions about that. I can try to answer those very quickly for you. Cameras, that continues to be a work in progress. And so our fiber connection is supposed to drop in the next couple of weeks. Links was supposed to be here this week at some point in time. So I need to touch base with them and make sure that's happening. But I think they're going to hang some equipment this week. So that'll be one step closer, and we'll try to push that through as fast as we can.
TOH, everything went well.
Yeah, we had a good conversation with them. I think that's, if we're going to use the poles, we've still got a lot of legwork there to do. And so we may, when Lynx is in town this week, my intention is to go with them to each site and just see, maybe there's a business owner or somebody we could jump on the side of their building and just hang our camera at this point. And if it's not a good spot long-term, then we can try to work on the pole agreements and get on there. But I think we're all in agreement that we need to get these things hung and be done with this.
Right.
So that's our goal, I think, moving forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're no problem.
Yeah.
Sorry it's taking so long. Anything else before I jump in? I'll just add that this is a lot of things have been happening, a lot of moving parts, the last month. It's hard to believe it's been a month, but Hubcap continues to move forward, I think. It's been a good program. I thought, for as much effort and planning we put into it, the Halloween town came together pretty well for us. So I really appreciate everybody's involvement in that. A lot of volunteers and things of that nature. And so it's really appreciated. And I think town looks good. We continue to work with Kenny Hall, who was in here a couple of months ago on the development behind Buns. And so there will be some activity up there. And we met with him today to there's some issues about, where his property is, where the right of way is, where our property is. And so we went up there and kind of looked at the different assets and the available mapping and worked with him to try to find a happy medium to allow him to continue his work on his property. Access continues to be a struggle up there. And so I think, personally, I think we want to see that project move forward and try to work with them the best we can. Utility access will be a question, sewer and things of that nature, but right now it's just some site work he's working on. So we've spent a lot of time working with the trust agency that we acquired that property through in 1951 or whatever that was. And so we've spent a lot of time chasing ghosts, but we've got to the point where we've got somebody we're talking to with Truist in Georgia. And so we've got some good progress there, I think, and hopefully a good result will come, but we'll keep you guys in the loop with that as that goes forward. And then there's just been some other, economic development things that I don't really want to share, but I just want you guys to know we're working on them, and I'm going to be sending you an email about here very shortly just to kind of keep you in the loop with them. And I think that we will try to meet with those folks later on in the month and or early November to see if we can find a way to partner with them and bring a good development to town. And so those are exciting things, but they take time. And like I said, the staff has done a really good job. I think we're really coalescing here pretty well. We're getting the right people in the right spots and finding more bodies, to throw at police and things of that nature. So those are good things to have. And so I've just been real proud of the efforts. And I'll even add that I think, and I'll end it with this, that I feel like there's a positivity building. I thought homecoming was really good as far as a parade and people's appreciation of Weston. And so we're really going to try to work with, the community to make Thanksgiving and Christmas like last year and take it up a notch and try to have a good time through the Halloween holidays as well. And there will be a block party on October 9th at the middle school. So hopefully everybody can be in attendance there as much as possible. And then we'll close out with the trunk or treat at the end of the month.
Movie night.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a series of movies, I think, this month at Holt Park. Do you know the dates of those, Judy, off the top of your head? I think they're the next 2 Saturdays, if I remember right.
The 7th and the 14th.
7th and the 14th. So yeah. I think
7th and
I
the
think Parks and
14th.
Rec essentially at this time has said, yeah, we're going to do it, and city manager, good luck. So we'll see if we can figure that out. So I've been hoping they would grab the bull by the horn, but I may end up having to get involved a little bit. So we're going to try to pull it off, and so get some advertisement out and stuff like that. We had the kayak float. I said I was ending, but I guess I'm not. But we had the kayak float. We only had 6 in attendance, 5 kayaks. It was a cold morning, but it was a good time. And again, people who come have good things to say about Weston, and that's a good thing, I think. And so we just got to find that magic formula to get local people involved. And most of our kayakers were out of town, which is a good thing. But we're providing these services because we want people to have a good quality of life here as well. And so we want to work to try to get more people engaged and try to find out how to do that. So it's been a positive month. Been really, really glad where we've been. Sure. No, completely up to your interpretation. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Okay, I'll pass that along.
They don't know what they are.
If you're from out of state, you may.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I know.
I had to Google the Flatwoods Monster. I'd always heard of it,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what it looked like until then. And I thought, wow, I didn't know what it looked like. I think it's lovely. And I have seen a lot of folks downtown getting their pictures taken there.
Mhm.
And incidentally, one of the local elementary school teachers is giving extra credit to her class if they take their picture downtown at Hope
Oh,
Property.
cool.
I make a move to accept all department reports.
Second.
Mm.
Okay, it's been moved in second in the discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to old business ordinance 2020-16, City of Weston to acquire property at 210 North River Avenue. This will be the second reading.
Mhm.
So the council desires, I'll entertain a motion to have the second reading. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2023-16, City of Weston to acquire property at 210 North River Avenue, second reading by title only. Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to either accept or reject the second reading of ordinance 2023-16.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved in second. Any discussion? We'll have voting by roll call.
Councilwoman Sherry Rogers.
Yes.
Councilman Stephen White.
Yes.
Councilwoman Debbie Gump.
Yes.
Councilman Hurd.
Okay, motion carries. Next, ordinance 2023-17. It's been recommended that we table this ordinance, the second reading of this ordinance.
Upon recommendation from the city manager, I move to table the second reading of ordinance 2023-17.
Is there a second? It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, ordinance 2023-18, creating a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit on Lynn Avenue. This would be a second reading. I'll entertain a motion to have a second reading of ordinance 2023-18.
I'll move to have the reading of ordinance 2023-18. The ordinance of the city of Weston creating a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit on Lynn Avenue by title only.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance 2023-18, ordinance of the city of Weston creating 15-mile-per-hour speed limit on Lynn Avenue. Second reading by title only.
I'll entertain a motion to accept or reject the second reading of ordinance 2023-18.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Discussion. Voting by roll call.
Councilwoman Rogers,
Yes.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gump.
Yes.
Councilman Curtis.
Okay, motion carried. Next, Miracle on Main, Saturday, November 25th, from 12 to 6. Action requested on that. Fine, let me repeat. Okay.
Oh.
I forget what we're trying to accomplish. What approving an event or like a parade or something?
Are we waiving the business fee? Okay. She's
If-
on the committee.
You're receiving. I'll step out just in case.
Yeah,
Above the level around there.
we try.
I'll come and get you there. On your paper app that you have, Mike Sterrett wasn't available. Or I printed these that we have in there. So they decide.
So is there a motion to approve this event for November 25th from 12 to 6?
A motion to approve.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, there's a request to waive the business license and B&O tax for the Miracle on Main Street vendors for the date of
I'll move to waive those.
Is there a second? It's been moved and second to waive the business license and B&O taxes for vendors participating in Miracle on Main. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Tell her we didn't approve it. Can we have the Parks Board get with Mr. Nicholson? I read the minutes. That'll be interesting. Actually, he'll enjoy it about the basketball.
Next, we have discussion of bridge dedication for Joe H. Pringle. And this would be for the new bridge that is currently under construction. And that is something that, goes through the senators and delegates. And his family, have put in that request to Delegate Burkhammer and Patrick Martin. And he's waiting approval on that. And we simply wanted to share the information with you, about Mr. Pringle. If that is approved, we will participate in the bridge dedication ceremony, much like we did for the one on Fourth Street.
That was a very nice bridge dedication. It's very nice.
That's just for your information at this time.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2023-19 to enhance and provide sidewalk maintenance funding.
Well, this is something that I guess you could read tonight and approve if you're very happy with it, but it was really a draft, I think, at the end of the day from Brian and myself and in consultation with the street department about sidewalk maintenance in the city. As we currently understand it in our current code, the city of Weston doesn't really speak to sidewalk maintenance outside of being able to require property owners to construct a sidewalk in front of their property and then maintain it with any kind or for any kind of repairs. But that, I think colloquially or locally that has translated into, well, the property owners own the sidewalk and that's their responsibility, where I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think the sidewalk still remains in the public right of way. There's just state statute that allows municipalities to enforce just like any other nuisance or any other kind of property maintenance issue where we can go in and make you fix something. Sidewalks are no different. And so historically, Weston has taken the approach through the code to say, yeah, we have that authority to make you fix your sidewalk. Now, I think as time has gone on, for whatever reason, and I figure that statute was adopted I think if I remember right, the ordinances was in the early teens of Weston, 1900s teens of Weston's history, when people came from the frontier, moved to West Virginia, right? And they said, make us a concrete sidewalk. Since then, I don't think we've ever really enforced it and made sidewalks a priority or forced homeowners to then do those costs, and those costs have only continued to rise. So with that, I think we all see the state of our sidewalks within the city, and we get a lot of requests from people saying, hey, I want to fix it, but I don't have the money, but if you could partner with me in some form or fashion, maybe I could do it. And so what we've kind of hashed out from a framework standpoint is that we see two ways of assisting homeowners through our current taxes, which, our coal severance funds, we haven't really put a particular use to those outside of saying, yeah, we're going to use this for concrete or sidewalk repairs. And we haven't done any projects, and those funds have continued to build to roughly $50,000 at this point. So I guess my initial take with this is to utilize a funding source like that or general funds moving forward, if we extinguish those, to be able to partner with homeowners or property owners to repair sidewalks in two ways. One being they could get themselves on a priority list and a schedule where the city would come in and do the work on their sidewalk and then allow them to pay for the materials when that work is done, or before, put a deposit down or something of that nature. Or we could do it in another fashion where if they wanted to hire a private contractor and get to it sooner than the city's priority list, then we would be willing to share the material cost and allow them to pay for the labor. All of these sidewalks would be built in accordance to our city standards, under the supervision of the street commissioner. And so, any kind of private work would have to get his approval, things of that nature. So I think if I remember the ordinance correctly, we rewrote it in a fashion that would basically allow council to add to the existing code for us to develop a policy that you all would approve that would be geared towards sidewalk maintenance in that fashion. So that's an ordinance you could read tonight, but we just wanted to prepare that for you, put it before you, get your feedback on it. I do know we've had somebody recently buy a property up on Brown Avenue. There at the corner of, I think it's Bannister, that last road there as you come off the hill, Bannister and Brown. The sidewalk's in pretty bad shape and it steps and all this other stuff, and he wants to do something about it. And so he's looking to us for guidance on what to do. And right now I don't really have any guidance outside of we can make you repair it if we want to, because that's what our code says. So And then there's been a property downtown where a local contractor has come to me and said, hey, is there any way you can work with us to fix this sidewalk? I'd really like to do the work kind of as a token to help out this entity. And, but if you guys could help us, it'd go a long ways towards that kind of work. And that would be in a material fashion. So those are the two examples I have to offer that there's ways for us to get involved and hopefully spur this on.
So it could work like the facade grant
I
program.
think initially, yeah, essentially that's what we would try to do is
Yeah.
to develop a process where people could apply. We'd have probably a set amount of funds that council would earmark during the budget process and say, yeah, we're going to put 15,000 or 10,000 or whatever it is towards this, and then have an application process and then try to do that. And I think part of our back and forth was, we've got to be able to prioritize the places where, we
Sure.
think walkers may frequent. So if you've got a dead end street and you want a sidewalk in front of your house and you're at the end of the dead end, you're probably not going to get prioritized in this grand scheme of things, but we've got to be able to treat people fairly in that determination. So we've got some legwork there to work through that process, much like the facade grant,
Sure.
but we felt this was a way maybe we could partner. And if we don't have the funds, from a year-to basis, just like the facade grant, you mothball it and say, we're just not going to have the program this year. And when funds become available, we'll open it up again.
No, we're going to ask for more.
Right.
Heads up.
Understood.
However, I don't want to bring about the wrath of the city attorney. And it's not the note on the agenda action requested.
Uh-oh.
So I would prefer that council review the proposed amendment to the ordinance. And if we could get that on the agenda for the special session.
Any other comments down there? Yeah.
So part of my full-fledged grant for the sidewalk repair, we have to do that with liability and non-ownership of the sidewalk. Repair sidewalk that belongs to residents.
I don't think the sidewalks I'm referring to are the ones within the public right of way. So I don't think that I don't think the homeowners are responsible liability wise in any form or fashion for those. When we had that recent legal foray with the sidewalk issue, I think that was made pretty clear was that the owner was responsible for the sidewalk transition on their side of the sidewalk. We were responsible for the sidewalk in the right of way. So I think these are just, we're going to have whatever's happening in the public right of way. We've kind of got to accept responsibility for that because we're the gatekeeper for that right of way. Well, every street's different. Every street's different as far as what the right of way is. But if the street's been built correctly over time, usually the backside of the sidewalk is the right of way line or 6 inches, so you can get a form in and out. Yeah. So now that varies. You know how things got built in Weston. Yeah. A grant through whom? Sorry. Anybody? Yeah, I think you can apply through DOH for some sidewalk funds. Historically, from my experience with those programs, they don't like to fund projects that just replace sidewalks. They feel like that's a city responsibility. Usually those programs are for building new sidewalks, for upgrading the sidewalks, making them wider or something to that effect. So I think it's going to be on a case by case basis. And it's really going to be project related. It's not going to just be, here's $50,000 to fix sidewalks, from what I understand. Now, like I said, I think we've got some, municipal fees and things like that. We could play some games there. If we wanted to put an adder into the municipal fee for, I'm going to throw a number, $5 a year for homeowners to put into that pot, and we could distribute that way. I think that's a way for us to generate funds. But I think sidewalk grants will be a challenge, and that's been a challenge for a lot of communities.
But facade grants aren't, and sidewalks are eligible.
Yep. So, and there may be a way for that
So
facade grant
We
program.
may be able to do that, Herb.
Yeah. Nope. I don't think we've heard anything from them.
That's pretty typical too.
Yeah. We haven't heard back from our application 3 years ago. We're still pending on their website. So, yeah. Yeah, and you guys don't have a quote in front of you, so I don't anticipate any action on that this evening, but I want to talk to you a little bit about it. So we were looking at putting curb on Water Street, where we pulled out the old broken sidewalk, just kind of set the road edge there before we paved. And when I priced that curbing that the precast that we can find that's available to us, it came out to a little bit over $6,000 just for the material for the curb. And that was higher than what I anticipated in the past. And we bought some smaller curb, but this is for 18-inch stuff. So that was only 182 feet or something like that and that's how much it would cost us. And that wasn't any labor or any kind of ancillary. That was just buying the curb for the material itself. I think it worked out to $20 a linear foot or something like that. And so I just was frustrated with that. And so I reached out to a curbing company that provided the curbing machine that we'd used in Vermont, which was an extruded curb. So essentially you can either glue that onto new pavement or cut a trench and fill the trench with concrete and kind of pour it in place, and it's a slip form. And that machine, surprising, was just a little bit under $17,000 for the machine. And when I did the math on the amount of material per foot for concrete curbing, we had less than $1,000 of concrete in that length if we would just buy the concrete. So I know we've got curb in front of the Episcopal Church on Center Street that's missing. There's that. I think Water Street parking lot, instead of putting parking bumpers back, we could put some curb on the back edge there. Glue
Oh, that's
Mhm.
nice.
lively, if we get in that project there with that sidewalk.
Just shove those right over all the
Right.
time.
And so in my experience, being able to put a curb on the edge of the road when you've paved it and then backfill topsoil and plant some grass makes the road edge really pop and makes the street look really good. So I think it's an investment that would pay for itself over time. And my suggestion is to pay for that out of the stormwater fund, because curb is used to direct drainage to the drains. And that seemed like, from our research in the stormwater expenses, that it would be an eligible expense. And so at this point, I guess I'm just bringing it to your guys' attention and see if you're good with that. I'll work on getting a quote and getting that back to you here in the next meeting. Not at this point. No, I had a phone conversation, wrote it on a sticky note and said I'd call you back and get a quote, and I just ran out of time. And this machine has the ability to do concrete and asphalt, so we can use both materials. The only drawback really is that it's labor intensive, in the sense of when you're pouring it, you've got to have 4 or 5 people on deck helping out. And so, yeah, poor street
I know.
department. Sure. Yeah, jump in.
I would like to see it.
In action,
In
yeah.
action, there you go. Thank you. I'd like to see it in action, so that way we know how many people it's gonna take. I know it takes 5 people to blacktop. I gotta pull this machine, or how I gotta do it. We just need to know.
Yep.
I'm better lucky to see something.
Yeah. From our understanding, nobody's doing it in West Virginia. When I talked to the manufacturer, I haven't been able to find anybody, but I know there's people doing it in Connecticut. So Mike and I may take a trip to Connecticut at some point here to see it in action. But yeah, I think that before we bring it to you, we want to get their street department's blessing on it. Agreed, Mike.
Plastic counts.
I'm definitely interested.
Okay.
I'll table.
Motion.
I move to table.
Second.
Sorry. Yes, I said I moved to table. Second time.
Seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have purchase of air packs from Jackson's Fire Department at a cost of $70,000.
Yeah, Jackson's Mill was able to get some other used packs to replace the ones that they have. And they went to Scott Air Packs. We still run MSA Air Packs, which is our self-contained breathing apparatus. We have, I think, 14 bottles that expire this year. So a new bottle itself is $1,000 a piece. So we always try to budget. I think I put $8,000 to $10,000 a year in budget for the air packs. So and we're also trying to get a grant for new ones. So if we did get a grant, everything we got now is going to be obsolete anyway. So this would get us by for another 5 years with no issues. It's for $7,000. And just the bottles we was going to purchase itself was going to be about $10,000 just for bottles. This is 28 bottles and 9 air packs.
Good deal.
I will move to purchase the MSA air packs from the Jackson's Mill Fire Department at a cost of $7,000.
Is there a second? It's been moved and second. Any discussion? We'll have voting by roll call.
Councilwoman Sherry Rogers,
Yes.
Councilman Stephen White,
Yes.
Councilwoman Debbie Gump. Councilman Herb Curtis.
Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have a request from the city manager to go into executive session to discuss sanitary board personnel administration.
Here, would you like to just do your reports first?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Need a motion to amend the agenda.
Second.
I want to keep in good with the city attorney. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, board reports. I passed out the mayor's report of the month of September. This month, I'll be going to the state auditor's training, and also there's a municipal league board of directors meeting. And the only other thing I want to cover is people are really noticing the city and how it looks. In that book, Dress for Success, if you dress better, you feel better. And it's the same way with your town. Feel better about where you live. People are noticing it. I'm hearing Weston is coming alive again. The fact that the street sweeper ran after the parade all around town to pick up candy. The citizens are really noticing the effort that the city employees are making, and they certainly appreciate it, as do we. So thanks to all of you for that. And was there a blue memo circulated today? I know, saw you guys in the board.
I was thinking that too.
They never concluded. Okay, Sherry.
Yes, big thank you to a lot of people who made downtown happen. Our volunteers, Teresa Haver, Barb Milhoff, I hope I don't miss anybody, Lily Garten at the street department. We definitely couldn't have done it without the street department. A big thank you to Alden Butcher for donating all of the fodder shocks for us. Fire department had a hand in helping me, and they don't know it yet, but they're going to do it again and very soon with Halloween. And yes, city staff also. And I just a huge thank you to everyone. I think that our goal was to get people downtown to be proud in their downtown. The banner, the welcome banner for Lewis County alumni, that turned out so nice and was such a thoughtful touch. And I think that our hometown pride is showing in that and spreading. That I think that was probably the largest homecoming parade that we had. And I think that almost every sports organization was represented, and I think every family came out to see it. But we are, Liz and Solaris, Liz Moida and Solaris' son have done a wonderful job with their artwork at Hope Property. If you haven't seen it, go downtown. They made a little photo place. And if you're downtown after dark, Mothman's eyes glow, which is a nice little touch. And I've seen people down there, and I've noticed on social media, people are downtown getting their pictures taken. They're taking pictures of our downtown, and I just appreciate everyone who makes this happen, because it takes everyone to make this happen. And I appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Stephen.
Yeah, Ward 2. we're very thankful for all the city employees. There's a lot going on in town nowadays, not only with all of the popularity and the beautiful atmosphere that Weston has going on right now as a little hometown for many people. But a lot of petty crime and things of that nature. Thankfully to Chief Posey and his crew, they've taken care of a lot of it, kind of cleaned up our streets over on Ward 2, and we're very happy about it. We've had a lot of people mention that it's a safer place. They feel safer, at least, and that's a start. And yeah, it's been a great place for families to continue to flourish, and I appreciate everybody's hard work in doing so.
Now that I cross off a lot of things on my list because they've been said previously.
I just sit down here and smile.
Would like to compliment the people who have worked on downtown. I know Councilwoman Rogers has spent a lot of time decorating, and people have noticed the good things that are happening. With that, I know we are in the Halloween time, but I also like to look to the future with Miracle on Main that is coming up. It has been moved to November this year to correspond with Small Business Saturday. So we're encouraging as many small businesses out there, if you're a crafter, have things you would like to set up as a vendor, please get online and register for that event. It's always a big draw for downtown. So we will be transitioning, I'm sure, Councilwoman Rogers, from Halloween to Christmas very quickly in
I just
downtown.
was wondering about that. So, when
Well,
is
the
it?
Christmas parade is the 24th.
Yes, that's my goal.
Mhm.
So when is Miracle on Main again? The 25th. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No problem. Okay. We already have volunteers.
I would also like to express to people and remind them that public safety is the #1 priority for our city. And we are going to work with people in Ward 3 to try to have this celebration on 7th Street. But you remember, we have to watch out for public safety at all times and what is best for the people and residents down there. What else is another? Somebody else has been thinking, as you all know, I teach at the high school and I do a weekly discussion question with my seniors. So last week we were learning government, levels, and that you have the most contact with your local government. So my question, I had an old picture of Weston, like a little picture, and my 3 questions were: what are the strengths and weaknesses of community life in Weston and Lewis County? And what extent do they arise from these plans? What challenges have your family faced over the years, given the changes in population and commerce that have occurred in Weston and Lewis County? And how has your family persisted to this present time? And number 3, what future would you like to see for Weston and Lewis County that would motivate you to remain here? And how should this be achieved? So that was the questions posed to my seniors. And I will say, for question number 1, strength is our sense of community.
Strength.
That is our biggest strength that the kids mentioned. And these are 17 and 18-year-olds. And they see the sense of community that we have in Weston and we have in Lewis County, and how people come together and help one another. And coming out for homecoming and events that support the people here. Weakness. We need more things for you to do. I think we're all aware of that. No surprise there. And I think they said jobs. I mean, I know but jobs and to help, the situation, and that would keep them here. So I just wanted to share the things that our youth are saying that we need. They are aware that the town is improving. I will say there was a lot on that, but I just wanted to share those things with you.
It's important.
And maybe we can, work together as a county, as a city, and a community to work
to kind of answer these things that our youth are telling us. Because they are the future of our town and our.
Mhm.
So, and with that, I'm.
I'd like to thank the city staff as well, for all their hard work in the recent past, especially the street department, with the street sweeper. I've heard a lot of comments as well after the parade was over. I'd just like to bring up, and I was going to talk about it at the last meeting, but as Debbie spoke to her students, bringing up about jobs and things to do, I think it's very important, as I've spoken a few times, that we stay vigilant with what we're doing that mirrors the comprehensive plan, and that we're either sticking, near the comprehensive plan and updating it and bringing new ideas to it, and then new ideas, and we spoke before about maybe removing the tax and doing different things to try to entice people in new businesses and people to the city. That can help create things to do for the young people and create jobs. And, so that's something I'm going to talk about. I think it's definitely comprehensive plan should be open to some new ideas or things that if we make amendments or that we could add, as we go along, because you learn as you go along. And the comprehensive plans of 5 or 10-year plan, 10-year plan. So in 10 years, you can learn a lot. And come up with new ideas to, to create a better place and more jobs and more things to do. So just something to keep in mind. I need to not adjourn it, but need to go into the next section.
To discuss sanitary
Personnel.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I move to adjourn. It's been moved and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.